Hi everyone, I'm super excited to bring you another breed interview. This time I was meeting with Denise and she is a breeder of working border collies. She uses them on her farm and as well as breeds them. And she had lots of great information about things you might want to think about before you decide to get a border collie, what to look for in a breeder and how to choose one. So I hope you all enjoy learning from her as much as I did and enjoy learning a little bit more about border collies. How long have you had border collies?
Trying to get out of that or the window. I have had border collies for 22 years.
What first got you interested in the breed?
I bought them for work because I raise sheep and I needed a working dog.
Okay. And then do you breed them or do you just purchase them from other people?
I breed them.
Okay. How long have you been breeding?
Probably 10 years.
Okay. What should somebody be looking for when looking at getting a border collie? What should they be looking for from a breeder?
Well, any working dog, there are working lines and then there are more pet-centered lines. So each breed was designed for a purpose. Some dogs were designed for pets. Some were designed for some type of work, herding, protection, moving livestock, hunting. So you have to take the history of the breed and what that breed was designed to do into consideration when you're looking for a dog. If you want a dog for a pet, then you have to get a dog suited to become a pet and not one that wants to be active and busy 24 hours a day.
Yep.
So there are lines of border collies that work from grandparents, great grandparents, 100 lines back, that are working. And then there are other border collies that don't have that working history. So if I were getting a pet border collie, I would look for lines that aren't necessarily a working line.
Okay.
If I wanted a sport dog to do agility and things, then I would look for dogs who are successful in that. If I wanted a herding dog, then you have to go to somebody who actually uses the dog.
Okay. So if somebody's looking at getting a border collie and they do want it to work stock, does it matter whether the parents worked sheep or goats or cattle, or can they kind of learn any if the parents were successful with one of the
there is a difference in the way each of those different breeds of livestock work, and the dog has to adjust to those differences. Some dogs do it seamlessly and can work all of them. Other dogs are more suited to one or the other.
Okay.
So if I was going to work cattle and only cattle, I would look for parents who are successful at working cattle the way I want to work cattle.
Okay. Do you think that a border collie requires somebody who's had dogs before, or could they be a good dog for a first-time dog owner?
There are some of them that are more suited for pet type homes that are quieter, that would do well in a pet home, but border collies are so super smart. They're not a dog to just get and want a dog to hang out and sit on the couch.
Okay.
They're gonna want to be busy. They want to be around their people. They don't like to be alone.
Okay.
So it's going to take commitment on the dog owner's part to have a border collie, whereas other breeds aren't quite so, they don't require so much of us.
Yep. Do you think that they would do best in a place that has a fenced yard where they have space to run, or is somebody taking them walking multiple times a day going to be enough for a border collie?
border collies need to be busy mentally. It's
Okay.
not so much of the physical.
Okay.
So like I said, it's going to take commitment on a dog owner's part to have a border collie that is happy and well adjusted.
Okay.
That, be that, taking it for walks or going hiking or, doing search and rescue. But they need a job.
Do they get along well with other dogs?
Border collies kind of seem to play a little bit different. At least mine do, because of the herding instinct that's so prevalent. So they do really well with other border collies. Some other dogs don't quite get how they play.
Okay. So particular dogs, you're not going to just love every dog.
Yeah, they can be, they're kind of snobs. They like other border collies.
Okay. What kind of training should an owner be expecting to do if they get a border collie? And is it something that takes a lot of repetition to teach them something, or do they pick it up pretty quickly?
Border collies are smart. They pick it up really fast. They pick up the good stuff just as easily as they pick up wrong habits. So if you let them get away with something 3 times, it's going to take some effort to break that habit.
Okay. And house training, does that usually go fairly well for them?
Yeah, like most dogs, as long as you're consistent and explain to them what you want, they'll pick it up quick.
Okay. Do they do pretty good with kids, or is it something that if you're going to have one, you should get a puppy if you're going to have kids around?
That herding dogs like things that move and have a more tendency to nip as opposed to other breeds.
Okay.
Because of that, kids' movement can excite herding dogs in general, working border collies specifically. And that can be a problem. Also, some of them are noise sensitive.
Okay.
And so they would not be my first choice if I was getting a family pet.
Okay. If there are other small critters in the home, are they one that you can teach not to be chasing them all the time, or does it take a lot of effort to get them to get along with other small critters?
Again, because mine are working, they will want to work, be that chickens, cats, so again, you're going to have to be on top of it from day one to teach them not to do it. It can be done, but
takes a little more effort than maybe some other breeds.
It's going to take some effort.
How do they do with meeting strangers as far as people, if you have strangers over?
Like other dogs, as long as you've done your work in raising them, they're fine.
Okay.
They're socialized.
And then you mentioned that you use yours for working. Do you also do trials with them, or is it just they're kind of your help around the farm?
I have done both.
Okay. How does a trial work? Like, are you able to do more than one dog, or?
There are 3 different venues you can trial in. There's AKC, there's the AHBA, which is the All Breed Herding Association, and then there are specific border collie trials.
Okay.
Border collies were designed to gather big fields, so the border collie trials are out in pastures.
Okay.
The AKC and the All Breed Herding Association have smaller fenced-in lots, buildings, and the herding is suited so a lot of different breeds can compete.
Okay.
So depending on, each venue has its rules and regulations, but the people that travel and trial and do herding trials usually take more than one dog, because they're not they're not just around the corner. You usually have to
Right.
travel pretty far.
Okay. What do you love most about Border Collies?
Probably their willingness to be a partner and their instinct to breed stock and do what they do. They think through things, and as long as you raise them to think and make good choices, I can send my dog and he can take care of his part of the process and I can do my part.
Okay. What do you think is the most frustrating thing about the breed?
Probably that if you allow bad habits to start, they're pretty tough to break.
Okay.
So you've got to be on top of it.
Big consistency is important.
Absolutely.
As far as health goes, are there any things that Border Collies are prone to having that somebody looking into getting one should be asking to see if parents have been tested for? Anything along those lines?
Each breed has their thing. Border Collies can have eye disorder. You know, they can have hips and elbows just like any other breed. They are generally a really healthy breed, but they don't have much hip problems. They can have epilepsy and they
Okay.
can have deafness, but it's not prevalent.
Okay. So they're pretty hardy for the
They
most.
are.
Is deafness something that can be genetically tested for, or it just sometimes it happens?
You can test and make sure the parents are hearing in both ears,
Okay.
and there is a genetic component, but it's not clear on how it's passed down.
Okay. Not one that's been directly linked yet.
No, actually, cattle dogs have more of a problem with deafness,
Mm-hmm.
but it's there. You know, some say it's linked to color and white ears
Mm-hmm.
are a concern,
Okay.
but all that's not been figured out quite yet.
Yeah. Okay. And then would you consider them like a watchdog or a guard dog where they would guard the home or the territory?
I would not consider them a guard dog. They do alert like most dogs.
Okay.
They let me know what's going on.
Okay. But they're not necessarily going to take it in their own hands to try to chase off whoever's come by.
No.
Okay. Is there anything else that somebody looking at getting one should think about or know before they decide to bring home a Border Collie? If they've decided, yeah, I do have an active lifestyle and I have time to spend with this dog, teaching it things and keeping it mentally active.
You know, I think with any dog, you have to look into the future. You know, depending on the breed, it's going to be 10 to 15 years that you're going to have that dog. And if you're going to be active for the next 10 to 15 years, it's not just today or this summer or,
Yep.
you know, it's a long time commitment.
Okay.
And just because, you know, your life changes, you're done at school or you get married or you start having kids, you know, you've made a commitment to that dog. And
Okay.
I think the biggest thing with getting any dog is, again, looking at the history of what that dog was actually bred to do and making sure that those behaviors will coincide with your life.
Okay. Now, if somebody wanted to get a Border Collie from you, if they have sheep and they're wanting to get a Border Collie to help them work, how would they get in contact with you or learn more about it?
I have a website. It's
Okay.
Clearfield Border Collies.
Okay.
Actually, it's Clearfield Stock Dogs. But, I do herding training and have clinics and help livestock producers learn how to use working dogs, not
Okay.
just collies, but
And all of that information would be on your website?
yes.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me about border collies and a little bit about what you do with them. I sure appreciate it.
All right, great.
Thank you very much.
Yep, no problem.